This week, Project 2025. Here's who's behind the blueprint to reform HUD, FHA, and the home equity conversion mortgage. More after this short message.
Building relationships is the way Mutual of Omaha has grown into one of the leading financial services companies in the world. Our reverse mortgage wholesale division is proud to carry on this 100-plus year tradition. To your borrowers, a reverse mortgage is more than a transaction. It's a promise of a better, more stress-free life. Our goal is to provide you, our valued client, with the best service and support possible so you can focus on helping your borrowers achieve the retirement of their dreams.
Welcome back to the Industry Leader Update. Project 2025 came to prominence during the presidential election. It's a conservative blueprint from the Heritage Foundation for restructuring the federal government and its various agencies. The 922-page document outlines various recommendations for reshaping how agencies would function under a conservative government. Now, if the Trump administration chooses to adopt portions of this plan, it would bring a seismic shift for both HUD, the Home Equity Conversion Mortgage Program, and various other government agencies. Throughout his campaign, President-elect Trump distanced himself from Project 2025, stating on Truth Social, "I have no idea who's behind it. I disagree with some of the things they're saying, and some of the things that they're saying are absolutely ridiculous and abysmal. Anything they do, I wish them luck, but I have nothing to do with them." It wasn't until after the presidential election that I downloaded and began parsing out Project 2025's recommendations for housing policy. Scrolling through the table of contents, it came as a surprise to find that none other than Trump's former Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Dr. Ben Carson, was the one who wrote the chapter on reforming HUD, FHA, and federal housing policies. Now, this points us back to last week's show where we explored what the HECM program may look like under President Trump's second term and possible candidates to lead the agency. Now, hopefully, President-elect Trump will appoint a HUD secretary with extensive housing policy experience, which was not the case last time with Dr. Carson. So here's a snapshot of the policies that would impact HECM lending if adopted from Project 2025. First, Dr. Carson recommends to remove the HECM program from FHA's Mutual Mortgage Insurance Fund. Today, the MMI fund insures both traditional and HECM FHA loans. The HECM was moved from the General Insurance Fund into FHA's larger MMI fund in 2009. Separating the HECM from the standard FHA-backed mortgages could alter risk management and potentially increase scrutiny of the HECM's principal limit factors, the HECM limit, and insurance premium structures. And speaking of insurance, Carson proposes in Project 2025 that FHA should increase mortgage insurance premiums for all loans that exceed a 20-year term. His rationale is that wealth building and home ownership opportunities are best accomplished with shorter duration mortgages. If implemented, hopefully the HECM premiums will avoid such an increase, as the average lifespan of a home equity conversion mortgage from funding to termination ranges from 5 to 10 years. How about FHA limits for FHA and HECM loans? Dr. Carson recommends revising how loan limit determinations are made for all FHA loans. Experience has taught us that revisions are often synonymous with reductions. And echoing similar comments made during the first Trump administration, Carson's contribution to the document says that Congress should also consider those areas in which federal policy negatively interacts with private markets, including when federal policy crowds out private sector development and exasperates affordability challenges that persist across the nation. Does this mean a curtailment of FHA-insured loan limits, or how the Federal Housing Finance Agency determines the conforming loan limit, which we know in part helps to establish the HECM limit? Now, during Dr. Carson's tenure, there was a discussion of how the administration hoped to have a more robust private reverse mortgage marketplace. In other words, fewer HECMs and more proprietary loans. The good news is that Housing Wire reports that the housing advocates who spoke with them cast some doubt on whether the policies that were outlined in Project 2025 would in fact be pursued. Nevertheless, now is the time for our industry to impress upon the incoming Trump administration the importance of the HECM program, and that another severe curtailment of loan proceeds could make the program largely inaccessible to older homeowners who are facing increasing financial pressures in retirement. Now, what are your thoughts on Project 2025? I've included a link, by the way, so you can see for yourself. Leave your comments below, especially as it relates to HUD's housing policy and FHA. And if you would share this video with others on LinkedIn, we always appreciate that. We do have a YouTube channel. Please subscribe and consider hitting the like button if you enjoyed today's episode. Each and every week, we bring you the most recent reverse mortgage news and our weekly podcast, HECM World Weekly. We have both an audio and a video edition. Thank you so much for joining us, and be sure to return next week for more reverse mortgage news, commentary, and analysis you'll only find here at HECM World.